Our Oregon State insider, Brandon Sprague. Sprague, we got 2 days before the Beavs and Longhorns meet up down in San Antonio. SeaWorld yesterday, huh?
Yeah, I saw all the pictures from all the players. They talked about how scary the roller coasters were. You know, I went to that SeaWorld about 2 years ago, and I can vouch those roller coasters are no joke. But it's a pretty cool experience. You can see the whales, you get to see the dolphins, and all the animals who are mistreated. It's a pretty cool little thing.
Slightly better than USC's treatment then of the Sun Bowl from what I'm gathering?
Yeah, I mean, they're not showing up late to anything, so at least they were on time, right?
What kind of a sense do you get from the team as far as being prepared? Because so much of these bowl games, it boils down to who wants to be there and who's taking it seriously and who's taking a vacation.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first week, Suk, they were putting the scout team in Texas jerseys. So, look, you can read everything and you can hear about all the good stories about how pumped they are, how much fun they're having down there. But overall, you got to, if you watch this team in the practices before they left for San Antonio, the vibe you got was focus and just ready to get out there and play. For a lot of these guys, their last game as seniors, and you know, for a lot of these other younger guys, a chance to redeem themselves after a terrible season, a terrible couple seasons. So I think they're as ready as they're going to need to be. They're pumped to be there. They're really excited, and you know, that's kind of an advantage I think they have over Texas.
Yeah, and I don't put too much stock in bowl games. I think sometimes we make way more than what they are, and it's a fun exhibition for the fans and the players. But for Oregon State, it would be nice to be able to say that 10-win mark for a team that's been down in the dumps, that took a lot of heat, that nothing was expected of. To be able to say that you were a 10-win team, I do think that means something to Oregon State.
Oh, that'd be a little treasured season for them, Suk. And you know, not only the 10 wins, but they would finish top 10 in the BCS as well, which is, you know, I don't think anybody in the world had that pegged. I mean, some people thought they'd go to a bowl game, maybe finish a little above expectation, but to have 10 wins and be a top 10 BCS team at the end of the season, that's huge for this program. You might not put a lot of stock in bowl games, and I agree with you to a point, but for a team like Oregon State that's rebounding like they did and having such an incredible season, I think this game means the world to them going forward.
How surprised were you that Cody Vaz was named the starter over the weekend, and how much action do you think Sean Mannion will see, if any?
Well, I was really surprised, actually. I mean, as the Oregon State insider for 1080 The Fan, I wasn't really inside the situation because I kept saying Sean Mannion was probably going to start based on what I saw in practice and a couple people I had talked to. But, you know, look, Mike Riley probably saw something in practice, just didn't like the way Sean was throwing the ball, maybe didn't like the way he was moving the offense against some of the scout team or even the first team defense. And, you know, Cody Vaz has had a pretty good season. Personally, I would have played Cody Vaz from the get-go in this bowl game. I wouldn't even have made it a competition just because he has that poise, he has that confidence in himself that I think Sean Mannion's been missing since the Washington game. So it's not a shocking surprise to me. I was a little stunned in the fact that I thought Sean Mannion was going to start. But overall, I think you're going to see two guys play in this game. If Cody Vaz doesn't come out and just light it up and throw like 6 touchdowns in the first 2 quarters, if he doesn't, he's just having a mediocre game, then I would expect to see both guys.
And then my guess is that come spring practice, we're going to have to go through this all over again. That's got to be the one disappointing part to the season is you haven't had that one guy be able to grab on and really hold this job and stop it from being another competition.
Yeah, unfortunately, injuries have happened to both guys, so it's kind of opened the door for one and the other. And, you know, look, like I said earlier on Travis and Wilcox, something that hasn't hurt this team this year is the quarterback situation. Last year kind of blew up in Riley's face. This year it's worked out for the best for them. But going forward, even if Vaz plays a good game and then Mannion sees some time and he plays a good game, you got to wonder where they're going to be at mentally going into the fall camp and the spring camps, because you know that they're well aware that this is a quarterback competition and that really the future for both is on the line here. And, you know, both guys can play. So then you start to wonder, okay, is one thinking, do I want to stick around and do this? Maybe go to a different school where I know I'll start. It's a very slippery slope when you're dealing with the situation. And, you know, I wouldn't want to be Mike Riley when it comes to that. But the good thing for Oregon State fans is in both guys, you have a starter.
You know, so often coaches get all the credit for these guys and holding the locker room together. How much has the senior class this year had to do with, you know, making sure they don't get divided over these quarterbacks?
Oh, it's everything. And Mike Riley's given them all the praise in the world. Marcus Wheaton, Jordan Poyer, Andrew Sayamalo, you know, all the seniors on this team that have stepped up, that have endured these past 2 seasons, have seen what a locker divided and, you know, having little clicks here and there, or guys who just don't agree with little decisions here. And they show their frustrations out on the field or after in a post game. That's the biggest thing is they've had guys, whether the coaches, they obviously respect the coaches. And what the coaches say, they listen to, but it goes deeper for them. If a player like a Jordan Poyer can get up in a meeting after a coach leaves and says, look, guys, and just brings a unit together, whether it be the defensive guys or even the offensive guys, and you can look in his eyes and you can see the passion and the fire that he has when he's speaking, that goes a long way, and that's what they've done this season, and Mike Riley's given them all the praise for keeping that locker room steady all year.
When you look at it, I mean, it's been a hell of a year, but looking ahead, I know you lose Wheaton, you lose Poyer. I mean, there's obviously some big guys that you're going to lose to graduation, but this is a very, very young football team, and especially if you get a win, you got to love the prospects of this Oregon State team next year.
Yeah, because then you not only got the experience of having such a crappy year, you got a lot of these young guys, you got them the experience of going 9-10 wins deep the very next year. So now they have that winning experience under their belt. They won't go into any situations next year. I mean, granted, they won't have their senior leaders, but they won't go into situations thinking, oh, crap, we've never been here before. We don't know how to act. They know how to act. They've been in close games all season long. They got that under their belt. Sure, they're going to miss the talent in Marcus Wheaton and Jordan Poyer, but they have plenty of young guys that are going to step up. They just got this JUCO cornerback, Steven Nelson. He's probably going to come right in and try to fill that void for Jordan Poyer. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it develops, but you got to feel very confident if you're a Beavers fan with all the youth and experience that they've gained this year too.
The college bowl season is in full swing right now as the big games really start coming hot and heavy today, tomorrow, and leading in through the new year.
We got 3 good ones coming up for the Pac-12 and the Big 12. I think UCLA Baylor should be fun, and that's tonight.
Swing game.
And then Oregon State Texas I'm really excited about. And then I think outside of the national title game, the best BCS game is going to be Oregon and Kansas State.